Well, we are less than 100 days until the Iowa caucuses, and according to a new poll, Donald Trump is no longer the frontrunner. The Des Moines Register finding Ben Carson is now in first place with 28%, and Trump falling to second at 19%. You're seeing some of the numbers on your screen now. A lot of folks have a lot of things to say about polling, as you know, and the Donald is simply not buying these numbers.
100 days on the top of every single poll, national and state. Okay, that's the good news, right? Let me give you the bad news. The press was so happy. The press. I love Iowa, and I honestly think those polls are wrong.
The press. The press. More of the press now. Jason Noble, a political reporter for the Des Moines Register, joins us. And we're going to talk a little bit about these numbers. So Donald Trump has his theory about them, Jason. But I'm curious what you're seeing in your reporting over the last several weeks. How do you explain Ben Carson on top and quite a ways on top away from Donald Trump?
Yeah, he's up by 9 points in Iowa, according to our latest Des Moines Register Iowa poll. And the poll respondents that I talked to following the release of the poll, the voters out there that I'm hearing from, they're saying that they really like Ben Carson's cool and calm and collected appearance. You know, he really brings this sort of sense of honesty and trustworthiness to the race. In this poll here, we asked a number of questions about, who is the most trustworthy, who is the most electable and presidential, and on almost every one of them, Ben Carson was the top choice.
But you also see there's some good news in the numbers for Trump as well. So even though he might be second, there's something in there for him. What is that?
That's right. We asked the question of who is best able to bring about real change. And Donald Trump led in that category. And as our pollster told me, that's really the critical thing in this race right now. The Republican electorate wants change. They want to see something different in Washington. And the candidate who they think is best going to deliver on that is really in a good place right now.
You know, one of the ways that Donald Trump is an outsider is when it comes to funding. And I was just checking out Twitter before we got on the air. Donald Trump is on Twitter today. He says, he does most of the tweets himself, but he was really saying that super PACs are to blame for Ben Carson's lead in Iowa, that it's really the super PACs that are doing his work for him. I'm, obviously paraphrasing what Donald Trump has to say about that. But I'm just curious on the ground, do you see that? Is there a lot of just outside money flowing into Iowa? And is that a problem potentially for Donald Trump?
There certainly is some super PAC activity here for Ben Carson. You go around Metro Des Moines, even out across the state, and you'll see a lot of billboards and signs up. Obviously, paid media that the campaign itself is not paying for. That is the work of super PACs. Is that a problem for Donald Trump? Again, a lot of the voters that I've talked to, one of the things that they really like about Donald Trump is this sense that, he can't be bought, that he's independently wealthy, he's self-funding this campaign. And that he's his own man because of that.
A lot of politics are regional. We see that as well. So sometimes when it comes to Republican or Democrats, if it's from a certain region of the country, there could be similar themes. And so you're talking about some themes we're seeing from Republicans in Iowa really valuing that outsider perspective. Are you seeing something similar from Democrats in Iowa as well? Is that one of the reasons why Bernie Sanders still remains competitive? Or do you see something different from the Democrats when it comes to Hillary Clinton?
No, I think that a similar thing is at work here. Bernie Sanders in our last poll was second behind Hillary Clinton, about 7 points back. He's clearly her main opponent in this race now, with the candidates dropping out and Vice President Joe Biden deciding not to run last week. We had a big Democratic event over the weekend here, the Jefferson-Jackson dinner, and it was very much sort of a battle between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. And you could see there were some indications in that event that the Sanders people are really not on board with Hillary Clinton. There was some talk that supporters of Sanders actually got up and walked out before Hillary Clinton came on. So that's really the race to watch, and it's close, although Hillary Clinton certainly appears to be very well organized and very strong here in Iowa.
All right, we'll see what happens. As you mentioned, these 100 days, we're inside the 100 days, and that's a really crucial time for all the candidates. Jason, great to have your on-the-ground reporting. We appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna.